Welcome children to the English literature class. Hope you are enjoying the story. So let's continue. Children, please use earphones for better audibility. Children, we are reading a story named PIP Meets a Convict, written by Charles Dickens. Till now, we have read that as an infant, Pip couldn't pronounce his first name as well as his surname. So, he called himself Pip to make it short. One day, he stood in the churchyard looking at his parents' tombstone and was crying. Suddenly, he heard a horrible voice asking him to stop making noises. The man was very frightening both in his look and behavior. He wore a coarse grey-colored dress soaked in mud water from ditches. He had a big iron chain on his legs as he was an escaped convict and was walking with difficulty. He shivered and his teeth chattered because of extreme cold as he forcibly held the chin of Pip. Now, let's read out what happens next. "Oh, don't cut my throat, sir," I pleaded in terror. Pip addressed the man as sir and earnestly requested him in extreme fear not to cut his throat. "Tell me your name," said the man. "Quick!" The man asked him to tell his name quickly. "Pip, sir, once more," said the man, staring at me. "Louder!" With extreme fear, Pip told his name, but the man looked at Pip with wide open eyes and asked him to tell his name once more in a louder way. "Pip, Pip, sir." Pip repeated his name twice. "Show me where you live," said the man. "Point out the place." Then the man asked Pip to point out the place where he lives. I pointed to where our village lay, a mile from the church. Pip pointed the place where his native village is located, which is a mile away from the church. See, children, Pip earnestly requesting the man in extreme fear not to cut his throat. The man looked at me closely. Then he turned me upside down and emptied my pockets. There was nothing in them but a piece of bread. The upside-down view of the church righted itself when he placed me on a high tombstone. I sat trembling while he ate the bread ravenously. The man looked at Pip very closely. That is, he looked at him very minutely. And then he turned Pip into an inverted position, that is, he held his legs in the upward direction and his head downward and removed all that he had in his pockets. Pip said that there was nothing in his pockets except a piece of bread. The inverted view of the church came back to its original position when the man placed Pip on a high tombstone. Pip was sitting and was trembling with fear, while the man was eating the bread in such a way as if he was extremely hungry. "Now look here," said the man. "Where are your parents?" The man told Pip to look at him and asked Pip about his parents. "There, sir," said I. Pip fearfully replied, "There, sir." See, children, Pip is sitting on a high tombstone and is trembling with fear, and the convict is eating the bread ravenously. The man jumped and made a short run, but then he stopped and looked over his shoulder. When the man heard that Pip's parents were there, the man jumped at once and ran shortly. Actually, he thought Pip's parents were near him, but he looked over Pip's shoulder and found no one. So he stopped. "There, sir," I timidly said, pointing to the tombstone. Pip, with lack of courage, said, "There, sir," by pointing to the tombstone of his parents. "Oh," said the man, "so who do you live with? If I let you live, which I haven't made up my mind about." The man was relieved to hear this and asked with whom Pip lived. Then the man said that he had not yet decided whether he will keep Pip alive or not. "My sister, sir, Mrs. Joe Gargery, wife of Joe Gargery, the blacksmith, sir." Pip replied that he lives with his sister, Mrs. Joe Gargery, wife of Joe Gargery, the blacksmith. "Blacksmith, eh?" said he, and looked down at his leg. The convict was surprised to hear that Pip's brother-in-law is a blacksmith, and then the man looked down at his leg. After looking at his leg and me several times, he took me by both arms and tilted me back as far as he could hold me. Then he stared into my eyes. After looking at his legs, he looked towards Pip several times and took him by his both arms and bent him back as far as he could hold him. Then the man looked angrily into Pip's eyes. "Now look here," he said. "I need to decide if I will let you live. Do you know what a file is?" He asked Pip to look at him now. The convict need to decide now whether he will keep Pip alive or not. Then he enquired if Pip knew what is a file. Now students, let me tell you, a file is a tool used for smoothing or sharpening metal. "Yes, sir," Pip replied. "Yes, sir." "And you know what grub is?" Then the man asked whether Pip knew what grub is. A grub is a slang word for food. "Yes, sir," Pip gave a positive reply. After each question, he tilted me over a little more. This made me feel helpless. I was in danger. After each question, the man bent Pip a little more. This made Pip feel very helpless. He felt that he was in danger. You get me a file. He tilted me again. And you get me grub. He tilted me again. You bring them both to me. He tilted me again. Or I will have your heart and liver out. He tilted me again. The man bent Pip again and asked him to bring a file. And then he again inclined him and asked him to bring some food. Then he tilted him again and asked him to bring both the file and food, and threatened him that he will have Pip's heart and liver out if he disobeys his words. He again tilted Pip. Look, children, the convict tilted Pip back as far as he could hold him. That's all for today. Children, please read the portion of the text thoroughly that we have read till today. Thank you.